My name is Hartej Sawhney. I'm the co-founder and president of Hosho.io. We're a cybersecurity blockchain company based in Las Vegas, Nevada. The word Hosho itself, it means security in Japanese. So we were co-founded about a year ago, and now we're a team of 40 people, mostly people with a prominent cybersecurity background that are laser focused on the blockchain space. So a lot of white hat hackers that are trying to take a look at this space from a different perspective. So I wanted to give a talk about launching a token sale, something that there seems to be a significant amount of excitement about. People are very excited to take advantage of the fundraising mechanism of an initial coin offering. And I personally believe that this fundraising mechanism is not going to disappear, and it's not something that has matured as much as we would like it to. However, it's very important to discuss some of the problems with this fundraising mechanism, and it's important to look at it from at least a cybersecurity perspective. So we've been auditing smart contracts. So we conduct smart contract audits in which we make sure to see, does this smart contract do what it's supposed to do, and does it have any security vulnerabilities, and does it marry to the white paper? And so I want to take a step back by starting this presentation off with what seems more like an early stage venture capitalist presentation, that if you're interested in launching a token sale, it's important to take a step back and ask yourself, well, what problem are you actually solving? And, you know, one thing I'll say about that is when Twitter was made, Twitter wasn't necessarily solving a problem. Twitter was enhancing humanity by taking advantage of the internet. So they saw that the internet was made, and they said, well, let's find a way to enhance humanity by enabling humans to message one another with 140 characters. And so in this new decentralized world, when you have a blockchain, there's a lot of solutions that can come that you're either solving a problem or you're enhancing humanity by leveraging decentralization and leveraging trustlessness. And oftentimes, venture capitalists will ask you, why are you the right person to solve this problem? Or any investor will ask you, why are you the right person to solve this problem? And my personal take on this is, I would rather put my money towards people that have a very unique reason to be in the industry that they are in. So if you have a background in petroleum engineering, and you have been working in the oil business for 30 years, and you've decided to pick a certain amount of the oil business to tokenize, I'm very interested in knowing what you have to say about this industry and how you're going to leverage decentralization and tokenization within that specific space, and why you're uniquely qualified to even be approaching this, and what problem you're even actually solving. The conversation nowadays quickly goes to, how much money have you already raised in your private pre-sale? And I think it's important to just take a quick step back and say, what problem are you solving, and why are you uniquely qualified to even be doing it? After that, I want to know, have you built any product? In Silicon Valley, where most of the fundraising has been happening over the last decade in the internet space, most investors want to know, are you making $10,000 a month of monthly recurring revenue? $20,000 a month of monthly recurring revenue? In this space, it seems without any monthly recurring revenue, without any code written towards an actual product, companies are raising millions and millions of dollars at a time where building technologies actually become cheaper than ever. Amazon Web Services only cost a couple of $100s to back up hundreds and hundreds of gigabytes of data. And there's solutions like Amazon Red Pulse, which is a tool on Amazon Web Services that literally is used at a very large enterprise grade scale by Fortune 200 companies, and it only costs a couple of $100. Yet in this industry, we're looking at companies that want to raise $50 million without any technology built, without even $10,000 to $20,000 of monthly recurring revenue, and no one is questioning, why do you need this much money when technology has become extremely cheap to be building? And so I want to know, where are you today? And is any technology built? I think it's a bit of a myth that you can run around Sand Hill Road in Silicon Valley and raise a couple of $1 million without a product built. Those people either went to Stanford, or they sold a couple of companies, or they were early employees at a major company like LinkedIn or Google or Facebook. So based on their previous reputation, they were able to raise their first few $1 million. That's not the reality for the rest of humanity. You have to have a product built. You have to be solving a real problem. You have to be uniquely qualified to be doing what you're doing. And you have to be by at least starting to make some money. Strategic investors are an interesting topic. So I'm often approached by companies and they say, well, we are looking for our first investor. Can you help us find him? And what I advise companies is, when you find an investor or an advisor, you should make sure that this person is going to be able to add value to your business. So if it's an advisor, it's not just about finding someone to put their picture on your website so that you can make more money in your private pre-sale. If you find someone who wants to be your advisor, this person should be putting their money where their mouth is what we say. It's a saying, which is, if you're an advisor in the company, that person should be A, cutting a check themselves towards the company. B, the advisor should understand what space you're in and to be able to actually increase your bottom line. So I used the example before of people in the petroleum engineering business or petroleum. Your advisor should be someone ideally from either the petroleum business or someone who is so well connected with a network of investors that they have the ability to increase your fundraise and introduce you to the world's top investors globally. And so my advice to everybody is, don't just blindly give away equity in your company to people who want to be your advisors. And also, in regards to advisors, the most powerful advisors are usually the ones that are already building their own companies, running their own companies, and in the midst of running their own companies, they're forced to know everybody. They're forced to have actual industry knowledge, and they promise to allocate X amount of hours per week towards your actual business. They'll say, hey, okay, I'll be your advisor, I'll be your investor, I'll take 2 phone calls a week, I'll take 1 phone call a week, and I promise these many introductions. Not just pay me 50 Ethereum and you can put my picture on your website. Talk to you after the ICO. Legal counsel is super crucial. I'm an American citizen and I hold a US passport, and as most of you know, the jurisdictions of the SEC are extremely strict, and oftentimes I'm seeing emails sent to me and LinkedIn messages where people are guaranteeing me returns on a token, and I simply respond with, seek legal counsel. It's super crucial that at an early stage companies find multiple legal counsels, quality lawyers, quality law firms from around the world. If you're an American, you not only want a corporate lawyer, you want a personal lawyer as well. A personal lawyer has your personal best interests at heart, and you should have 2 different law firms from 2 different jurisdictions, especially since right now crypto is it's a global space. And so if you're an American company and you're looking to focus on Asia, you should probably look into some legal counsel in both Asia and the United States. And then it's not a bad idea to ask yourself, why do you even need a token? I know that this sometimes sounds like someone's raining on the parade, but it's super crucial to ask yourself, why do you even need a token? Maybe you should focus on the business and get the business moving forward, and then evaluate how you're going to decentralize your business, how you're going to leverage blockchain technology, and how a token would actually be used in a decentralized application. Nowadays, I feel like most of the times that you're investing into a token, the token is being traded on a couple of exchanges, but how many tokens do you know that you're actually using on a daily basis inside of an actual decentralized application? It's a token that you invested in a private pre-sale or you bought on an exchange, and it's trading on an exchange going up and down and up and down, but how many of you are using the token inside of an actual decentralized app? Not that many today. And so it's not a bad idea to pump the brakes and to focus on an actual business and to ask yourself, why do you actually need a token? And after that, to date, most of the ICOs have leveraged an ERC20 token on Ethereum, and that's been the #1 way to raise capital in the space. And now we're turning a tide in the space. We have a lot of new, exciting blockchains such as Cardano and EOS and IBM's Hyperledger, NEM, NEO, and the list goes on. We have about at least a dozen to 2 dozen new blockchains that are coming out, and yet I'm finding that most people are saying, well, we're going to leverage the ERC20 fundraising mechanism for our fundraise, and then we're going to pour it over to EOS, or we're going to pour it over to Cardano. I think it's important to pick one blockchain and commit to it. At Hosho, as we've been auditing smart contracts, one of the things that we've been finding a lot is the person who is writing the white paper is definitely not in the same room or country as the person who's writing the smart contract. And your companies are outsourcing the writing of the white paper to somebody in Singapore, and they're outsourcing the writing of the smart contract to somebody in Los Angeles, and there's extreme discrepancy between the two. If the smart contract code is not doing what the white paper says it's supposed to do, there's a massive problem in the business logic. And most of the time that we're auditing smart contracts, even when the error is not being found in the core smart contract because you've copied the smart contract that you found from somewhere like, say, Zeppelin's pre-written smart contract, the errors are being found in the business logic. And I can give you an example. Just a few weeks ago, we had a company where in the white paper, they talk about how they're allocating 80 million tokens. And in the actual smart contract, they're only allocating about 30. So they forgot about allocating 50 million tokens. And if this smart contract, which was coded to be irreversible, if the smart contract went live, the founders themselves would never have received tokens. And they totally forgot about allocating 50 million tokens. So in order to hedge this type of risk, all I'm suggesting is to find the people who are going to be writing a quality white paper and hashing through what your token economic model is, figuring out, is your token incentivization model and economic model make sense? And does the smart contract, line by line, do exactly what the white paper says it's supposed to do? The marriage of the white paper and the smart contract are extremely crucial. So this is something that is also extremely crucial. Crypto is extremely global, and finding the quality companies to do quality roadshow, content, PR, marketing. One of the best PR firms that we work with out there is Waxman PR, and we're seeing an increasing number of outsourced CMOs like Block 51 that are doing a really wonderful job. These are the types of These are the categories of companies that I'm okay with someone outsourcing the work for. But when it comes to the core engineering of the smart contract and the writing of the white paper, ideally, the good companies are keeping it in-house, or they're bringing those people to at least work under one roof for a couple of weeks. Once you've decided you're launching a token sale and this is the right way to go, and you want to take advantage of the fundraising mechanism that is an ICO, it's really important for you to get your smart contract audited by a third-party professional. That once the code is completely written, it's ready to ship off, most likely it's irreversible. It's really crucial that you get the smart contract audited by a third-party professional. And when that smart contract is audited, somebody is conducting a static analysis, they're conducting a gas analysis for Ethereum to see if you're clogging the blockchain. They're doing a dynamic analysis where they're marrying the code to the white paper. And at the end of it, they're putting a GPG file, a cryptographic sign of approval on the actual code that seals your code and makes sure that when you share this audit report, investors, lawyers, PR firms, and especially exchanges, that their risk is mitigated to list your token. And we're really grateful that as the industry is maturing, every single exchange has made it a mandate, one by one, that they will not list tokens unless you provide an audit report from a professional third party, and that they can check the code online to see if there's a GPG cryptographic sign of approval. In addition, we should be seeing a penetration test being done. A good example of a company out there that failed to do a penetration test and they lost around $13 million in Ethereum at that time was CoinDash. So CoinDash built their website in WordPress. And if anyone here has a background in cybersecurity, they know that WordPress is extremely vulnerable. And this website for CoinDash was for the private presale of the ICO, and a hacker hacked into the website and simply changed the address in which investors were supposed to send Ethereum to. And so, under a couple of hours, more than $13 million of Ethereum was sent to the incorrect address. And this could have been avoided by them getting a penetration test of their website. And in fact, they wouldn't have even gotten that far before the cybersecurity firm would have said, "Why is your website built in WordPress?" And the same thing goes for exchanges. Exchanges are getting away with murder because they are not valuing security and getting regular penetration testing. Every single time code changes, you are open to security vulnerabilities. $500+ million was stolen from the Japanese exchange. And this is not the type of thing that's being discussed at most blockchain conferences. Most of us are more excited about the ICO pitch competition, but we're not talking about the fact that hundreds of millions of dollars are being stolen left and right. And the third part is, what are your in-house security practices? Whenever you talk to companies, sometimes at a small or a large scale, you're seeing that, okay, who takes care of your security at your company? And usually they point the finger to the CTO. The CTO's job is not to take care of security. The CTO's job is to look over the software development for this company. And if you're able to raise millions of dollars in a private presale, hire somebody in-house to take care of all of your in-house security. For you to take a look, to have the best policies for, are employees opening up just any email? Are all employees set up with two-factor authentication? Are all employees using company laptops? Are the right people using company cell phones? Have you set up a cell phone like Google Fi has a project in America where the Google Fi cell phone with Pixel 2 does not have a SIM card, so it cannot be SIMmed? Have you set up two-factor authentication on Telegram to not be tied to an email address? And the list goes on and on. I can share a quick story shared by the CISO from Shapeshift, Michael, where there was a company that had about 35 employees, and every single one of the employees was attacked by a hacker. And the hacker attacked the employees by researching all the social media accounts of the employees of the company. And after reading the Twitter and the Facebook accounts of all of the employees of the company, the hacker figured out that one of the employees has a dog that competes in competitions, professional dog walking competitions. And in cybersecurity, we know that the biggest vulnerability in a company is usually a human being. It's not a firewall. A firewall will just respond as, no, you've been rejected. And so the hacker emailed this woman who has a professional dog that competes in competitions a PDF and created a website for a fake dog walking competition. And this woman opened up the PDF, signed up for this dog walking competition, and the hacker could see this woman's screen and see all of her keystrokes. And that company lost somewhere between $15 and $20 million under 24 hours, simply because she was not informed to not just open up any email given to her at her company account. It was a spear phishing attack. And spear phishing attacks are becoming increasingly common, and it's important in this space to talk to each and every one of your employees to understand what is a spear phishing attack. You can't just open up any email. I'm running a bit over time, so I'm going to quickly wrap it up. These are some of the really common, super famous companies in the space that I like to bring up that lost lots of money, lots of other people's money. Because it's important to remember that when a smart contract gets hacked, people lose money. You know, when Home Depot got hacked in America, no one gave a shit because it was just data. Now we're talking about people's money being stolen. And just in 2018 alone, $6.8 billion was raised via an ICO. And in the first quarter of 2018, more money was raised via ICO than the entire previous year, 2017. And we don't want this list to extend. It's super important for this space, especially in Asia, where there's so much excitement around fundraising right now, to value security first and foremost. That's it. I'm going to wrap it up there. My name is Hartej. You can find me on Twitter, the Hartej. I wear a bright red turban. I'm easy to find. Take care.